it's JoJo from Mojo Jojo Plans, and today I am kicking off my new little mini series for the month of December. Some planner newbie advice and or just planner advice in general. I've been planning with Happy Planner for 6 years, or like going on 6 years, and I have loved every last bit of it, and I feel like over that time I have learned quite a bit about this company and just like the planners in general, just because I have been with this company as far as like with their planners, how they were and how they are now, and just have seen them grown throughout that entire time, which has been so awesome. So today I wanted to talk about just battling FOMO and battling buying things that you don't necessarily need, with releases always coming and going, and new things are constantly coming out. It gets really hard to tell yourself no, and if you don't know what FOMO means, it means fear of missing out, and I suffer from that super like intensely. It's like really easy for me to be like, if I don't get it, I'll never get it ever again. Like, and there are some things that are limited edition, that it's like if you don't get it, then yeah, you missed out. But it's definitely one of those things that you really have to look at and make sure you're getting it for a reason. Like if the reason is it'll make me happy, then that is awesome, then get it if it's something that's going to make you happy. But you never want to put yourself in a situation where you're like, I can't afford it, I'm putting myself in debt because of this hobby. Like, it should never be to that point. So you have to find that happy balance, so that way you're not putting life at risk and all of those things. So here are a couple tips for that. So one, just being looking at something, so something new comes out and it's like, I have to have it. Like, and for me, sometimes I'm like that right now. Like, my biggest thing is sticker books. I can't resist them. I'm kind of at the point where like I own them all, so I'm kind of just like, well, like that's just gonna be like the one thing that I own all of. And so for me right now, I'm kind of having to pull myself back and not get accessories as much, because I've kind of dedicated to sticker books. So for me, I kind of have to say like, okay, when a release comes out, like if there's sticker books, that's my priority, and really anything else I probably most likely don't need. If I look around my craft room, there are so many things that I have accessory wise that I really haven't touched, and I definitely need to do a destash. I need to do some giveaways, and sell some stuff, just because I have so much that like it might be brand new, it might have been like used once because I bought it with the thought of like, I don't want to miss out on this product, and that has been like the biggest thing I've learned, just really more so within the last year. It's taken me a long time to like admit that to myself, that I don't necessarily need every product that there is. It is really hard when they keep coming out with cute products. Part of me is like, can't you just come out with something ugly so that way I don't have to feel like I have to buy it? So biggest thing is, will you use that product, right? So if a product comes out, is it something you'll use? Look around your craft space. Do you already have that same product? Say it's like a pack of dashboards, right? How many dashboards do you already have? Is it a pack of filler paper? How much filler paper do you already have? You gotta find that happy medium. And like, if you have a ton of it, but you actually use it consistently, then that's another thing, right? Like, if you're getting something, but you're like always finding ways to use it, and like you're actually using up your stuff, then that is great. Like, then yeah, that's a great reason to grab some more, because you know that you consistently use it. But if you're kind of like me and you buy a lot of stuff, but then it just sits on a shelf, you don't touch it, you maybe touch it like once every 6 months. Like for me, I have like so much filler paper, but I'm like, why do I have so much filler paper? From like my earlier days of buying things. And so now I don't buy filler paper anymore because I have so much. I have enough for like a lifetime, so I really don't need any more filler paper. So that's one thing I definitely like cut off. So just really going through your stash and looking at what you already have. How much of it are you actually using? How much has just been sitting there? That is like the biggest thing when a new release comes out. Definitely look at that. And another tip is, can you afford it? Is it gonna put you in debt to, is this like money for food? Like, if it's your money that you set aside specifically for, your hobby, that's what I do. I set aside a certain amount each month, and I say this is all I get, and then once that's gone, I don't get any more. And so I really just try to be diligent about setting up that budget for my craft hobby, because if I look back and see how much I spent and I'm like, whoa. It's definitely a whoa. But I love the products and I use them, but there are definitely a lot of things that I don't use because I bought them because they were limited edition, and really a lot of things in Happy Planner world is kind of not necessarily like limited edition, but there are a lot of things like once they're sold out, and if it was like within like the student release, like student teacher release, or if it was like a certain time of year and then, you know, we move on and then we get to the next new year, like sometimes like recently we just discovered, you know, we got a second fall and winter book where we got one last year, and now the last year's fall and winter book got clearanced out at stores, so now that means those ones are no longer available, like just as a little example. You know, so things like that are always going to be falling off the shelf to where you might not be able to get it again. So you kind of have to just really decide if you want it now or if you want to wait, because they're most likely going to come out with, especially seasonal stuff. You know, I'm sure we're going to get a new spring and summer book probably in springtime, I would think, because we got, you know, the new fall and winter book for the fall release, so we might get a new spring and summer book. At least I would hope so. That would be kind of weird if they only did a second book for winter and fall. I don't know. But you know what I mean? Like, things are always going to be falling off, so you kind of just have to decide, like, is it something you really love, and is it something you're gonna use? For me too, I have like a lot of covers, and it's like, what am I gonna use all these covers for? I have so many. But you just really have to look at what you're actually going to use and just be really diligent about using the things that you have already or getting the new things. And if it's like a completely new product, like something that they haven't had ever sold before, then that's great too. Like, look at it and be like, will I actually use that product? I will say, if there's things that you don't use and you need to get rid of things, there are like buy sell trade like sites on Facebook. People sell through Mercari. Like, there's definitely ways to kind of like de-stash your stash so that way you can, you know, replace it. Like, maybe like you bought something thinking, oh, I love this pattern, this is why I bought it, but now like we all grow, we all change. Maybe now that's not your favorite thing anymore, and maybe you went from being a floral person to now you like the darker like stargazer vibes, right? Like maybe your vibes have completely changed in the last couple years that you bought certain things, but I can guarantee you there's probably people out there that might be looking for that exact thing that you no longer love. And really just like keeping the things that you love, right? Like, that goes with, you know, destashing. Like, if you don't love it, if you haven't touched it, if you haven't like felt the need to look at it, then maybe that means you don't necessarily need it, and maybe you can destash it. So definitely just like, if you literally just search like Happy Planner buy sell trade on Facebook, like in the search bar, like tons will come up. I'm a part of a couple groups because I destash every now and then just because I have so much stuff, and sometimes it's nice to get a little bit back from something that, you know, has been sitting on a shelf, and that way I can put it towards things that I'll hopefully actually use. But it is really hard, and just make sure like you're getting things for you. Just because, you know, somebody over there got like 30 different items, that doesn't mean that you have to go and get 30 different items, right? Like, don't ever feel like it's this battle and this what's the word I'm looking for? Not battle. It's this competition to have the most stuff, right? It should never be a competition. You should never be like looking on Instagram or looking on YouTube and looking at people's hauls. You should never be like, I want to get all of that stuff and then end up not using all of that stuff, right? Like, it shouldn't be, you should never be basing what you need off of what somebody else got and or what their needs are. Make sure you're doing it for you. Make sure you're getting the products that work for you. There's like no reason to get, you know, a teacher planner if you're, well, you can get like, I have a teacher planner, but like I use it for different reasons. Like, if you have like a way to use like something that works for you, that's great. Like, but like if you're not a teacher, you might not necessarily need the teacher planner unless you like the layout and you know the layout will work for you, which I think the teacher layout is an awesome layout, and I feel like they should just make that like not called a teacher layout. But do you, like, you know what I mean? Like, you just have to like decide like what works best for you, and that goes with like picking your planners. You know, like if you see people, like I've seen people say like, I have 14 planners for 2021, and I'm like, I can barely handle my 2 like lately, like, you know. So but if you're a person that knows like you get overwhelmed easily, don't let that, you know, be the basis. Like you do not need that many planners if you don't want them. Everybody has their reasons for why they have that many planners. I think I started with like 6 or 7 planners last year, and now I only use 3. I use my memory planner, my classic planner, and my skinny mini planner, and that is it. And that is like where I'm living. And then now I use a social media planner, so I guess now I have 4. But, you know, like I think this year I'm going to start a little bit lower and then add planners if I need extra planners. But just kind of don't look at other people's stuff. You know, like don't look at that and have it be like oh, I should do that. Only do it if you know it's going to benefit you and it's something you need. If you have a giant family and you need to know all their schedules, then maybe you do need more than 1 planner, and maybe you need several to keep everybody's things in track or whatever. I just know I get overwhelmed with a lot of stuff. So that's like my little bit of advice for those things. You know, only buy what you need, only buy things that you're actually using currently. Like if you have those products, just use those products. Like if you know you're using it, then yeah, you can buy some more because you'll know like this is a product I actually use. But if it's something that's been sitting on your shelf for a long time, then maybe that means you don't need to buy any more dashboards because you haven't even used the ones that you currently have. So, and then destashing, if you have a lot of stuff, that way you can get new stuff. You know, there's just lots of things that you can do to kind of battle that FOMO. And it's something you just have to keep telling yourself, like, it's okay if I do not need this product. Like, it is okay. Like, you can say, like, I don't need this product, but I would use this more. You know, like, just really look at your craft space, find out what you actually use. I definitely need to do that. I know there's a lot of things in my room that I do not use at all, like hardly touch. So I definitely need to look into those things and see like what I can get rid of / you know, give away, destash, all of those kinds of things, and just make sure like what I actually have is things that I'm going to use. But anyway, that is today's little planner advice, especially with new releases. We're supposed to have a winter release. I'm filming this on Monday, so Monday of we're ahead in time. We're back in time a little bit. So hopefully with that winter, whenever the winter release does show up, just kind of remember those things. Remember what you actually need versus what you want, and then just make sure that you're getting stuff that you're actually going to use, and try not to overbuy. Don't ever put yourself in a stressful situation because you bought a lot. Don't ever, you know, just don't put yourself in a bad situation just because you're afraid of missing something. If you're able to get something, if you're not able to get something, then that just means it probably wasn't meant to be, and that's okay. And there might be bigger and better things coming around. But I so hope you guys enjoyed this video and that you're going to enjoy this series this month. And like I said, it'll be every Thursday for the month of December. But I so hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I hope I'll see you in my next one. Bye!